Okay, g'day, Rudy here. So this is all about gold ETFs, Australian gold miners. But before we start, we go over the reason why we're investing in precious metals, because we want to protect ourselves from inflation, not 10 baggers. Alright, so this is the US 30 year over the 10 year. So you can see we're breaking out. That's a sign of inflation, which is very bullish for gold and silver. I reckon we're going into stagflation, which is low economic growth. We're already getting rising inflation and high unemployment. And just Google it, what investment works in stagflation. But I know you know that, because that's why you're investing in gold. Alright, so the other theme I'm waiting to play out, which will be extremely bullish, is this US dollar, the DXY. So this is against a basket of currencies. So for people who haven't seen it, so the US, this back here is the gold price went through the moon during here, because the gold's priced in US dollars, yeah, gold over US dollars, so denominator goes down, it goes up. So we're at a pretty long-term increasing channel. We're right on the precipice. Trump wants a lower dollar. He promised it to me in my 1,000 subscriber video. So you can see we've got a head and shoulder, head, shoulder pattern. So technically, if that's, probably needs to break. If it breaks down here, then, yeah. Anyway, so that's lining up very nice for us. And what happened on Friday night? Look at that. So much for all this consolidation, where we've poked our head above this resistance line. So I reckon she's looking good for next week. A little stat I found out for you people, doing my best to inform, educate. Okay, so this is foreign central banks now hold more gold than treasuries. This is like a percentage of their assets, foreign central banks. So the blue line's treasuries and the yellow line's gold. So those central banks, they don't want that paper money, they want the real stuff. So that's another underlying theme that's just going to keep rolling through. Yeah, and apparently last night $1 billion was put into the GLD ETF, which is the gold, over in America, the gold ETF, not the miners, but just the gold ETF, $1 billion. So things are certainly hotting up. Okay, so the Aussie dollar, US dollar, because that's going to impact the Aussie dollar gold price. So the USD, so the DXY is tanking, but we're not really like taking off. Probably because we're just as crap as America. But anyway, that's good. That's good news. What you want is the DXY to tank and the Aussie dollar to stay flat. Then you'll be a winner in Aussie dollar gold. Okay, so what is the Aussie dollar gold? Alright, so let's go to the daily, because we like to look at that beautiful big weekly green, this is daily, out of that pennant. Okay, so now we've got to put our eye on the prize of 5,400 Aussie dollar gold, but that's a pretty good start. I tell you, it's a good start. Okay, so we'll go back to weekly charts. So gold over Bitcoin. So Bitcoin's having a bit of a tank, and gold's. So anyway, gold's got it over Bitcoin. The important one is here, the gold over the S&P 500. So this is what we want. If we go back in history, come on. Okay. So there are periods, and this is also what signals the resource boom and why I'm bullish, because there are periods of time where gold just kicks the S&P 500's ass. You see, back in the 70s, the early 2000s, and so it's all starting again. We've had a few nice, so we've got a nice rounded bottom. So I go back to the weekly chart. So you know what a declining wedge means, bullish. So this is just the physical price of gold over the S&P 500. Okay, so everything's lining up for a gold boom, a resource boom. If this is your first time watching, welcome aboard the gold train. Okay, so obviously when we go over Aussie stocks, they'll sold off on Friday. I'd say they'll be back up again. So the Miners ETF, that's my preferred exposure. So that's actually, and then there's the GDX. So this is the GDX America. So this has got the Friday bump, and you can see we're right up to the old resistance line back in 2011. So that'll be bullish if that gets going. The gold miners are now, so this is GDX over gold. So just go back to a monthly chart. So it's quite amazing, really. Since 2007, the gold price has outperformed the miners. So you've been better off just buying the physical and not buying the miners. Since 2016, it's probably been line ball. But you can see now the gold miners are now outperforming. So that means if you're holding gold, you switch to miners. No, that's what it means. Okay, so this is miners over GDX. That's why I prefer miners, because it's hedged. So if the Aussie dollar goes up, it doesn't detract. So if Aussie dollar USD goes up, miners will outperform GDX. But anyway, it's not as liquid and horses for courses. Okay, the other important one, so is we've now got the GDX is outperforming, so GDX over NASDAQ. So we're now outperforming the NASDAQ. And it's what have we got here? So GDX is 1/1000th of the NASDAQ. So you only need a little bit of money to start converting from tech into gold miners and giddy up. Okay, so we'll go to a weekly chart. Okay, so now to some of my American ETFs. This is where I want to be at the moment, because they've got all the junior. In Australia, we've only got really like GDX is the big boys, the big miners. Whereas these in America, you get all this anyway. So GDXJ, when I say small, this is like GDXJ has evolution in it, so it's not really small. Anyway, that's up. There's the SGDJ, that's up. Gold Pug, that's up. GOE, so that's your explorers, although it's got all our big boys, so they're not explorers. And LSX, that's your listed investment company on Aussie stocks. It's a shame we don't have an Aussie Australian ETF. Okay, so GDX over LSX for my man who's in LSX. So there's a bit of a range, 50% range. So LSX is beating GDX at the moment. GDXJ over GDX. So I reckon, so it's line ball basically for the week, but I reckon the bias is up. GDX over COPJ, they trade in a range, so don't doesn't really matter, it's all gold. 4% range, GDXJ over GBug. Okay, so these are the these are the global stocks sitting under GDX. So Newmont up, wheat and precious metals. That's a royalty stock. That's going to go. Franco's just broken out. That's going to go. Agnico. That's going to go. Barrick. That's off, breaking resistance. Anglo Gold Ashanti. That's going to go. Kinross, that's look. they're just going. Okay, so now into the Australian stock. So this is the XGD. So this is our Goldminers Index. So that's going to go. Now, if we look at the individual stocks, so Alkane. It's going up. I had someone send me a note saying that they're shorting the gold stocks. Obviously an anti-guy. I said, good on you, mate, good call. Anyway, Black Cat, it's just priming. It'll go. The rounded bottoms never fail. BGL, Mr. I want to be net zero. Sell my gold for more because I'm net zero. I know Rick Rule loves it, but why is it the only gold stock that's not performing? They were pulling dirt from the wrong area. I reckon that's because they're too focused on their green energy. Sorry if you're holding BGL, but any company that focuses on net zero. Okay. So Capricorn, so on Friday I noticed all our gold stocks sort of sold off a bit because they didn't know what's going to happen, but they'll be pretty happy on Monday is my thinking. So fine. Catalyst. So it's just trying to decide. It'll go. Evolution, that's got its giddy up now, so that's off. Emerald, so no, that's fine. Emerald's got that's my all-in ASIC of $1,300. It's amazing. Most of our miners are 2,500 to 3,000. It's a shame they're in Cambodia. But anyway, the money will come in the bank bigger than others. So Genesis, so that'll get its giddy up next week, I'd say. Horizon, so it's doing the right thing. It's worth a buy. It's needs to get through this line here, but it should. Newmont, we've seen that. So Northern Star, I think he'll get a rip soon. So he's just had a breather. So he's just keeps edging up. So that's fine. Pays a dividend. Nice one. ABM, and that's nice. That consolidation off support, bang. That's going. Pantoro. Just keeps going, that one, doesn't it? And again, it's still far from its highs, so if you're in all of these, just hold them. Perseus, not Perseus, Perseus. That's fine. Remelius, giddy up. That's off now, off to the races. Regis. So sold off on Friday. Those people on Friday, I think, they won't be happy on Monday, I don't think, or they might be buying them back. Anyway, that looks fine. Resolute looks pretty ugly. I'd get out of that. There's plenty of others out there to. St. Barbara. So I had a bit of indecision this candle this week. Doesn't know. Should it go break that downtrend line? I think it should. Volt, that's giddy up. That's pretty green. WAF, off to the races. West Gold, so that's taking out the highs now. Okay, we may as well go through the small producers and make it quick. So Oric looks like it's giddy up now. Beacon, good drill hit, I guess. Oh, you can't buy that now, but definitely hold it. Kaiser, just not doing anything. Maker Metals. So that's bracing. I'd buy that. Rand Mining. Vertex. Yeah, that's looking really nice. That one, Vertex. And we got some developers. It's a weekend show, so we'll go a bit longer. We'll go through developers this is from Tony John. Worth a look at. So yeah, consolidating. That looks good. Osgold. Giddy up. Barton Gold. Yeah, that's off. Bright Star. So it's just consolidating in the right area, waiting for a break. Challenger, look at that, giddy up Challenger. That's very nice. Lavato, seen better charts. MM8, Medallion Metals. So it's consolidating at these highs. It's not bad, not good. PDI, yeah, you buy that. Sunshine Metals. So that's looking pretty interesting. Look at that. I reckon that's a goer. And we got Santana. So a little bit more, and that looks very good. Okay, Saturn Metals. Yeah, that's building to rock. Roxy. Yeah, Roxy's on its way. Look at that, a bit of a cup and a little handle. Tok. Beautiful pennant, bullish pennant there. So, yep, looks good. So West Mitts just coming down to test support. So you want to see it find some support here, then a bit of green, then that's a goer. Then Explorers. So Antipa. It looks nice week. Ordell Minerals. Needs a drill hit. Petronas needs a drill hit. And Win did the 2-cent capital raises. They need a drill hit. Alright, well, I think it all lines up to be a good week again for the gold stocks. If this is the first time you've watched the video, leave us a comment on what you think. If you've watched it a few times, let us know what you're into. And any news on the stocks you got, or anything you think we should add in here for the punters to have a look at. Alright then, say